I'm Jonathan Robinson, and this is Fret Buzz. Hello again, welcome back to the Fret Buzz. Hope you guys are doing well. Obviously, we missed last week, so today I'm going to bring you an extra large edition of the Fret Buzz. If you've never tuned into the Fret Buzz, it's the show that we generally put out on Saturdays where I go through YouTube, I find the best guitar-related content, and bring you my favorite videos so that you don't have to spend hours on YouTube finding things to watch or lessons or whatever. Normally I do 5. Today, I think I'm going to bring you 10 because like I said, we missed last week. This week's a holiday, at least for those of you watching in the States, in the U.S. We got Thanksgiving. So after that, you'll probably be in Thanksgiving turkey coma. So this will give you something to do over the weekend. You can sit around and take some guitar lessons and listen to cool jams and guitar-related stuff. So having said all that, let's jump right in. Some of the videos today, I know lately, the last few episodes, I've been focused on newer channels I've never heard of. Some of my favorites over these last couple of weeks are sort of some of the tried and true folks that I have recommended before, but they're my favorites. So I just wanted to bring you just straight up the 10 things I have enjoyed the most over the last 2 weeks. Coming in at number 1, and not in any particular order as far as my favorites, but number 1 on my list, it's Homeschooling Volume 78, Uncle Larry's Slight Return. You guys know I love Tom Bukovac. You know I love his channel. I've talked about it a couple times at least on the Fret Buzz. He was off for a while, I think. He got busy, went a small amount of time with no videos, and this is one of the first ones back. This one's great just because the opening jam is so good. He's got a new Les Paul he talks about that he just got from, I think he said he got it from Rumble Seat in Nashville, which is a cool shop. Check them out if you never have before. But just it's worth watching the 15 minutes just for the opening loop that he does. I mean, it is fantastic playing, fantastic, just everything about it. Just awesome goodness that you expect from good old Uncle Larry. So check that out, Homeschooling Volume 78, Uncle Larry's Slight Return. Next one, another channel that I've talked about before, and I'm going to go through these fairly quickly just since there are 10 today. This is Kerry Too Smooth Marshall. I've talked about him before. His channel is fantastic. He teaches R&B guitar, which I feel like you don't see as much as, out there on YouTube. There's so much, sort of blues and classic rock kind of stuff. I always enjoy getting a different flavor from his stuff and his lessons, and they're always good. But this one, he's talking about gospel things, and I've had the good fortune a few times in my life to play with gospel musicians. Man, and they're always amazing, and they do different things. They play things differently than I would. I always learn a lot, and honestly, they're probably some of the best musicians that I've ever played with. So there is a sort of a gospel walk-up when you're playing that gospel style, which he talks about. It's really cool. I think he says in there that a lot of players end up doing it in single notes, and he's showing you how to harmonize it in chords, which is fantastic. I am definitely going to learn that one. I've started on it a little bit, but I have not got it down yet. So that's a great one. Check it out. It's fun whether you play gospel or not. It's just a cool style, and it's a really cool sound. So how to play the gospel walk-up with Kerry Too Smooth Marshall. Another guy I've mentioned once before on the channel, a channel that is still fairly new to me. It is Late Night Lessons. Fantastic guitar lessons. Everything I watched from him is good. He lays things out well. He's a great teacher. He picks topics that I think are cool, and he picks lessons that I think are cool. This is one that everyone should know, especially if you're getting started or if you're getting started with the blues. This one's called 3 Blues Licks from the 3 Kings. Not too much to explain there. They're just fantastic, guitar lessons. Check them out. It's blues stuff. It's stuff you should know. So 3 blues licks from the 3 Kings. Cannot go wrong. Check that out, Late Night Lessons. The next one, there's 2 here that I'm kind of squishing together, and you guys know if you watch normally that a lot of times if I have a channel, I'll link to a couple of their videos. These are 2 different channels, but it's actually the same topic, and it's fun that the videos came out at about the same time. The first one is David Wallimann, and the name of the video is actually I bended the, and that's a quote, I bended the forbidden note, then this happened. So he's talking about sort of bending notes outside of the box, outside of the scale, into the note you want, and how cool and mysterious and sort of magical that can be in the right place, done the right way. The thing I love about Dave Wallimann's channel is he's all about finding your voice on the guitar, figuring out how to play and sound like you and have a style, and I think that's cool. So this is definitely a lesson aimed at pushing you in that direction, and it's really, really interesting, a really unique way to phrase some things, can break you out of a rut if you're there. And along the same lines, there's channel Ross Campbell, who is also a fantastic guitar player, fantastic teacher, and the name of his video is Start Bending from This Note, 3 Free Licks. So he's talking about the same thing. He's talking about the bends that we all do because they fall in that shape one of the pentatonic box. Everybody does them all the time. There's nothing wrong with it. They sound great. They're part of sort of the vocabulary of guitar. I'm not saying, and he's not saying that you should get rid of them, but he's just pointing out there's another option, or there are lots of other options, and he focuses on one. It's really good, really cool sounding licks, and he basically gives you three licks to check out in that vein. So 2 videos there about cool bends that sort of break out of the norm. Check both of those out, David Wallimann and Ross Campbell. Now here's one that is a brand new channel for me, and they don't have a ton of subscribers, but I thought this was really interesting. It's called The Cover Band Confidential. So apparently on this channel, it's all about exactly what it sounds like, cover bands and gigging, you know, playing acoustic gigs and sort of, you know, maybe not making your total living, but making some money going out and being a professional musician at some level. I found this one really interesting. It's only 11 minutes long. I think it's an outtake from a longer podcast, so maybe that's worth checking out. I haven't watched anything else on this channel yet. I just came across this. It intrigued me. I listened to it, and I thought, man, that's great. So especially if you know, if you're going out like me and you're doing acoustic gigs, or you're doing, you know, full band gigs, or maybe playing for different artists or folks, this is really fun, and it's really relatable. I don't know that I agree with everything they said. It's weird. It's probably polarizing, but the name of the video is I Played Every Song Musicians Hate, and This Happened. So basically the guy's saying he went out to a gig, and I won't spoil too much of it, but he's playing songs, a set list full of things like Wagon Wheel. And he's like, you got to get to the point where what you enjoy is the response from the crowd, not necessarily playing everything you want. Like, don't be afraid to play the things the crowd wants to hear. Super interesting take, a little different than the norm. Love it or hate it, I think you guys will find it interesting, especially if you gig out. So check that out. And then we're looking at a video from Acoustic Life, and what sort of drew my attention, I've recommended these guys before. This was in an Acoustic Tuesday. It's top 6 guitar lessons from Eric Clapton. And there's more to the video. There's more in the video than that. But the thing that really made it amazing and worth watching for me is he's gone through and he's found clips of Eric Clapton actually talking, and all different points in his career, different you know, ages and things. It's just he pulled 6 times throughout the years where Clapton sort of gave wisdom and advice about things. One of them is actually about sort of like what I talked about with David Wallimann, is actually about finding your voice as a player, how he had this realization that when he got to start meeting his heroes, they didn't want to hear him play like them. They wanted to hear what he does. So all kinds of good stuff like that from Clapton. Fantastic and definitely worth watching. So top 6 guitar lessons from Eric Clapton at Acoustic Life. Fantastic channel. Most of you guys are probably familiar with them, but don't miss this episode. It is very good. 2 more on here. So I told you it was extra large, lots of videos to check out. And as always, they will be linked down in the description. The next one is from The Art of Guitar. I thought this was really fun. It's outside of my box. It's outside of stuff that I would normally play. And it's Alex Lifeson's 26 Greatest Guitar Techniques 2.0. So it's exactly what it says. It is just literally 26 techniques that Alex Lifeson uses. If you love Rush, if you don't love Rush, I don't not love Rush, but they're not a super influence for me. You know, I enjoy what I hear. I really appreciate those guys and their talent and what they do. But I think in this particular band, which is, I guess, probably a rarity, the guitar player gets a little overshadowed sometimes by the other two guys. So here, if you feel like that is true, here's a great breakdown of all the cool things Alex Lifeson actually did, and a great way to play them. And even if you don't play that style, I think there are things you can incorporate into your playing. Lots of things that I found useful and helpful. And that's another one that I'll probably be sitting down with to learn a lot of the things going on there. The last one is just straight up a performance. Another guy that I have recommended before, Justin Johnson. He's such a good player. I love all the slide stuff he does. But this is not slide. It is one of my favorite songs of all time. It is a Bob Dylan song. Don't Think Twice, It's All Right. And the name of the video is Don't Think Twice, acoustic fingerstyle guitar cover by Justin Johnson. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's just cool. Watch it. You'll dig it, especially if you love that song as much as I do. It's one of my favorites. Probably is my favorite Bob Dylan song, at least at the moment. I cover it all the time, but nothing like this. This is pretty much a masterpiece. So check it out. Hopefully you love it as much as I do. The jam track of the week, I have already put up my take. It's actually been up for a week. You got to find it here. It is from Jam Track Society. It is a sentimental minor groove guitar backing track in D minor. It's really fun to play over. It's a little different than a standard blues, which I think is fun to depart from that sometimes. I know if you're anything like me, you get in a rut where you're playing the same type of backing tracks and you play the same type of licks, and it just lends yourself to feeling like you're stuck and plateaued. So it's fun to play over things that are different, that are a different vibe. So here's one for that right there. Check that out. Again, sentimental minor groove guitar backing track in D. If you have been doing No Shave November, don't forget to check out thebeardstruggle.com. Use my discount code JRMusic15. Otherwise, that is pretty much it for today's extra large edition of the Fret Buzz. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, click like and subscribe. Hit the bell so you don't miss our videos. We have tons of new content coming out. Baxter's got a new series where he's showing you awesome guitars he's found on the internet. They are good deals, but they are very expensive guitars, so the good deal part is relative. But really interesting series called Guitar Safari. And it'll be out. There'll be a new episode of that out this week as well. So check that out. Like I said, hit that bell so you don't miss things like that. I hope you guys have a fantastic Thanksgiving. We will see you next time. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.